over the course of the last year or so, the solar raw materials have increased across the board. We have seen increases in the region of double to triple digit, with polysilicon being the commodity that has been impacted the most. So, of course, as you'd imagine, this have translated into solar module prices have increased for about around 20% over the last year.
What is the capacity of the authorities to respond to these higher prices and perhaps try to at least drive down to a certain extent the costs through scale?
Well, definitely this is an approach, but the main thing we need to consider here is that Europe is reliant a lot on imports of those solar modules to deploy actually solar power in the continent. And without actually developing a local supply chain, Europe will not be able to have a lot of control over the cost of solar module, especially when we're talking upstream in the value chain.
Theo, can we talk about that? How long does it take to create a local supply chain? We've seen it being done really around the battery system for electric vehicles in Europe, the early days still, but there's certainly momentum for that to continue. What does it take to create an ecosystem for solar here in Europe?
So to establish the current situation in Europe, Europe currently is lacking a lot of capacity to develop ingots and wafers, solar cells and modules. It has some capacity of polysilicon, which is exactly the very important solar raw materials that goes into the technology that we're utilizing today for almost 95% of the solar capacity. So to get things into perspective, strictly speaking, a polysilicon plant can take around 2 to 3 years to build, while the rest of the facilities can build much faster, maybe 1 to 1.5 years at some point. But the main question here is how quickly Europe can deploy capital, how much it can make easy the permission stage for those, and how basically the environmental impact of any polysilicon plant or any other plant will be for actually accelerating the manufacturing solar chain.